get going. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Susan Alden, and I am super excited about what we're going to share with you today. I'm going to give you a little kind of overview of what we're talking about, and Jamie's going to come in and share a little bit more at the end. And so we are here to talk about something that has been really extraordinary in our lives. It has changed not only how we approach health, but it has changed the way we approach our lives. And it's been huge for us. And so just a little bit about us. Jamie and I are both, let's see, I'll show you a little blast from the past. Jamie and I are both military veterans. We met at West Point, and we met at West Point, or I should say shortly thereafter, about 25 years ago, and we've been married for 24 years. So we've been on this ride for a long time. And our lives probably look a little bit different than most, because almost all of that time we've been a military family. But it's interesting in so many ways. Certainly since we've been out, we have just felt even more profoundly connected to all of you, particularly those who may be struggling with health challenges or loved ones with health challenges. And so we'll share a little bit more of our story as we get into this. But before I go any further, I just want to kind of give some proper disclosures, because I am going to show you some pictures. I am going to talk about some things that, are a little bit sensitive. And we certainly can't say we cure, treat, prevent, or mitigate any disease. But what we're going to tell you are some facts, and we're also going to tell you some of our story and what we've seen. And so starting off with some facts, I tell you what, here are the top health conditions that we're dealing with: heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes. I mean, who doesn't have a family member or they themselves haven't been impacted by that? And here's some cold hard facts. 1 in 2 adults in the US has a chronic disease. And 1 in 4 adults in the US has 2 or more of these issues that I just said. I mean, that is the fact. And, it's been kind of a heartbreaking month of news. We've had 2 friends in their 40s who have died of cancer. And it's hard. And then I was just talking to some other friends who, again, have friends in their 30s and 40s who have recently been diagnosed with cancer. And so we're seeing a rise of things. We're seeing, these were all conditions that we thought, these are more for the aging, as we get older, but more and more and more, we're seeing people have these in their younger years. And it's kind of a scary thought. So what we found 2 years ago in what we will share today in terms of cellular activation really piqued our interest because of what was going on in our family. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, having never smoked a day in his life. He ate healthy. He was a super avid outdoorsman. He exercised. I mean, you wouldn't look at him and say, he was not on any medications, didn't go to the doctor, aside from a checkup every now and then. And yet this diagnosis came hard and fast, and we learned more about cancer than we ever wanted to learn. And so, I think about this quote from Hippocrates: illnesses do not just come out of the blue, right? Sometimes it feels that way, but they really, really don't. And so what we need to realize about our health is what's impacting us along the way. And what we're really talking about here is some tools to get to the root cause, because once you find out you've got a devastating diagnosis, it's hard. It's a heck of a lot harder to climb up that mountain than it is to kind of have some awareness about what the potential risks are. And so, we could go through a ton of potential risk. I mean, certainly we know these things, right? Let's start with the things that we know that are important. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't like, okay, nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, all of these things, having a sense of purpose in life, having great community, all of that is super important when it comes to our health, no doubt, right? Or the lack thereof can impact our health in a big way. But then there's all these environmental factors. I mean, and you can I just threw up some things because this is not just me saying this, a hypothesis. I mean, you can pull up articles, you can pull up research, whether it's about pesticides, what's being sprayed and, everywhere and on the things that you eat. Yes, even those, you may think you'd be eating mostly organic, but you could be picking those up in other places. Certainly through our water sources are huge. And then, this whole EMF thing that, some people are talking about, but I still walk around with my cell phone. I still, I'm much more mindful. In fact, I just got our computer hardwired. I'm like off the modem in my office now, but you can research this. This is impacting our health. And yet most of us probably are not doing that much to curb that, right? Until it becomes an issue. And then we think, oh gosh, how do I take a step back? How do I make some of these changes when it all comes upon you at once? So my dad was an environmental engineer. He spent a lot of his life, particularly in the 70s, 80s, dealing with toxic sludge. So I have no doubt that the environmental impactors were a big cause of his cancer. And we know this now through the study of epigenetics. So for those of you that are really in and forward thinking about health, look up the word epigenetics. Look at the studies on epigenetics. I love this quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza. I happen to be a yoga meditation teacher. Actually, Jamie is too. And we fully believe in that mind-body connection. And Dr. Joe always says, your DNA is a parts list of potential that are waiting for instructions from you and from the environment. So what instructions are you going to give your body? And that is really what we're talking about when we say cellular activation. So if this is a new term for you, that's totally cool. I've been studying nutrition and herbs almost my entire adult life, really my entire adult life, ever since I, left moms and I was looking for ways to feel better when I was in the Army and beyond. So cellular activation is using specific nutrients, using specific combination of herbs to activate the genome. So it's the difference between, we know that something like milk thistle is great for cleansing the liver, or maybe you don't know, but I think we can all, you wouldn't have showed up to this call if you didn't know that you can do natural things to improve your health and specific organs, right? But when we say activation, we're talking about activating your entire genome, every single cell in your body, giving it the nutrients, giving it a specific set of instructions to signal that gene to do what it needs to do to support your health, to optimize your health, to potentially prevent things down the road. And so all of these environmental factors that we're dealing with do some, particularly the things that I mentioned, and, but we could add to that list, lack of sleep, we could add, certain drugs that we may be taking, just life in general, even exercise. We think of exercise as great, but I'll tell you what, athletes have some of the highest amount of oxidative stress, right? So oxidative stress is essentially the rusting of your cells. So if you look at this apple, you have, sitting on the counter, if you just left it there for a certain amount of time, it would eventually deteriorate. And that's really what happens to our cells over time. As we age, the cells naturally decay some. I mean, that is life. That's where we get the wrinkles and all that stuff, and things start breaking down. So some of that is a natural process, but we can slow down and even turn back that process. That's what we're learning now. So, oxidative stress is one of the things that we're learning about more and more and more as we learn about these environmental toxins, at least if you're talking in many of the circles we roll in. And we know that oxidative stress is the root cause of more than 250 diseases, impacting every single system of the body. And so, when we talk pain, if you think of oxidative stress as inflammation, right? What causes inflammation? Oxidative stress. What causes pain? Inflammation. What causes gut health issues? Inflammation. And that's really where I found out about these products. I came back from an extended trip in India, and I was in serious gut health distress. And I'll be honest, I went over that. You should not go to a third world country on the heels of a very stressful life event, but that's what I did. And so my immune system was low, and I came back with a really intense bacterial infection and parasites that my body just couldn't fight off because my immune system was so depleted. So that's where I also learned a lot about Ayurvedic herbs, and I was treating it Ayurvedically, but I really needed to do something else. And so this information really landed in my lap when I came back. I did take a round of antibiotics, which, by the way, if you've been on antibiotics, ever, but certainly for a long time, which many people have, you're killing off the good stuff and the bad stuff, right? It's indiscriminate. Just like some other medical treatments that we that are very common with people being treated for different things. It can be indiscriminate in terms of the bacteria, the viruses, the cells. So anyway, I use these specific products that I'm going to share with you to get my gut health back in order, and it was significant. And incidentally, your gut health is very connected to your immune health. And so this was right at the time when COVID was ramping up. And I have to say, me personally, the last 2 years, I've been healthier than I have ever been. I feel good in my body. People constantly say, "What are you doing? You know, you look you look younger and you look more vibrant." And this has much to do with it. Jamie gets the same thing. We just recently went to our 25th West Point reunion, and everybody's like, "Wow, what are you guys doing?" So this cellular activation was like a big key. It was a big shift for us. And so, if you think of it, just another concept of how these products work, right? If we all have the same notes. If you look at the piano, any instrument, a middle C is a middle C, the D is the D, the E is the E, right? But they get out of tune depending on what's happening. If you're a piano and you've been shoved up in an attic somewhere, you're going to be out of tune. Or if lots of changes in the weather, relate that to your body. If your body is the instrument, what cellular activation, and specifically our Protandim line of products, does is it tunes your genome. The genes that need to be upregulated to support your health get upregulated. It's like the volume gets turned up, and the genes that need to be down regulated, like maybe the ones that help to create cysts in the body, inflammation, all of these things get turned down. And so literally this chart that I'm showing you this is one of the studies, one of the Protandim studies. It's literally this cellular activation brings your genes back in tune. And you can read these studies, so write this down or take a screenshot, pubmed.gov. You can go and literally type in the word Protandim, and you can read these studies for yourself. If you think about that slide I first told you, those top diseases, you're going to find information specifically on how Protandim has impacted those diseases, or oxidative stress. You can also look up oxidative stress and Protan or at pubmed.gov. You can look up mitochondria. All of these words are key things that we can just give you to look further. And if you're like, I'm not a researcher, a little bit hesitant to go on a big library like PubMed, ask whoever invited you to this to send you the video that has the ABC Primetime Investigative Report and Dr. Joe McCord, who has originally developed our flagship product, Protandim, which is proven to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So extraordinary. However you research this, I just want you, if I could leave you with one thought about the science and the power of what we have to share, is that one of the quotes from the study says, NRF2 activation may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And just to give you a little insight, without telling you the whole story, into my father's journey, when we looked into my father incorporating these products into his conventional medical treatment, his docs gave it a big thumbs up. Right now, you always should consult with your doctor, particularly if you're going through something as intense as cancer. But his doctors gave it a big thumbs up. In fact, one of his doctors was on the product, so she knew exactly what it did. So don't take it just from me or from Jamie. This is the real deal. And the beautiful thing is this activation principle. We're an activation company. We are here to share a little bit and represent the amazing company of LifeVantage, which Jamie will just kind of will highlight a little bit. But this concept of activation, which is really breakthrough, it's a breakthrough health technology, is what it is, but it's 100% natural. So I like to say, our ancestors knew about these plants. We're learning about them, how to combine them specifically to activate the genome to impact what we're seeing today. Because, our ancestors didn't deal with the same things that we're dealing with today. So that is really the science. This is ancient medicine and modern science combined at its best. So our latest product that we released, and there's a lot of buzz around this. There's buzz in general about collagen, but we have the only collagen on the market that has this activation principle. So it not only replenishes collagen that you have lost, it helps you maintain the collagen that you have, but it also activates the genes in your body that produce collagen, plus a lot more. It does a lot of other things, like it upregulates your SOD, which is, again, key to fighting off bad guys, whether it's bacteria or environmental toxins or any of these things that cause us to age and our cells decline. But it's extraordinary. So we could talk for days about that, but I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures. These are all people that we know and love. Real results in, look at this, in 15 days, in 20 days. Incredible. And not just our faces, but certainly as we age, I don't know, I'm hitting close to 48, and I notice like the skin's all over my body, right? Because you have collagen throughout your entire body, and it's not just the outside, but the inside, right? Collagen supports our organs. It is what keeps us healthy in and out, and most certainly your gut. So we're looking at potentially sharing a gut health specific call soon. So if you're interested in that, let us know. But again, men, women, different parts of the body, it is extraordinary. I just got this one recently. I don't know if she's on the call, but this is a dear friend of ours, fellow Army veteran, career Army veteran, Chaplain Mary. And look at that, it's incredible. And what's even more incredible is she said, I actually feel better on the inside, and that's showing on the outside. So again, this activation, this understanding, this powerful technology of nutrigenomics is woven throughout all our products. And it's just been an extraordinary journey for us health-wise, but it's also been an extraordinary journey for us in terms of the business. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jamie and just let him share a little bit about that, because that is, he's always been pretty good at taking what I tell him to take. But I've never seen him jump on board and be so excited about a business opportunity. And that's really what happened. So Jamie, I love you. I'm going to turn it over to you. And thank you for chatting with us on your Boys Day.
No, thanks, Susan. And thanks everybody for being on the call and taking the time out to just listen and listen to your friend who shared this information with you, who really cares about you. And as Susan said, the quote that Susan had up there that really struck with me, and I'll take my hat off so you can kind of see my face. Susan and I have been in this business for 3 years. We have 24 years of military service, as Susan said. And I knew after retirement in 2017, I knew I wanted to start my own business. But if you've ever tried to start your own business, you need to start multiple businesses, because 8 out of 10 businesses fail. So you want to start multiple businesses. And so we just saw this as an opportunity to get healthy, number one, with a product that is scientifically proven to heal the body and to help the body heal itself, really, as Susan said. And number two, it's within an industry that Warren Buffett recommends you start a business in this industry. Robert Kiyosaki recommends you start a business in the industry. Carl Icahn, Tony Robbins, the titans of business and business development recommend that you start a business, because you're going to start multiple businesses. Because as Susan quote said, illnesses don't come out of the blue. And we know that. But you know what does come out of the blue? You're losing your job. And if we haven't learned that in the last 2 years, one day you can have a job, going to work, you're enjoying your job, enjoying what you're doing. Boss seems to love you, coworkers love you. The next day, don't come in, can't come in, doors are shut, no way to make money, no way to make income. That does come out of the blue. So what are we doing today to make sure that we've diversified our income streams? So if you haven't considered network marketing as a viable path to business ownership, Susan and I are just saying, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to take a serious look at it. Doesn't matter what company you get involved with, what products, or really that doesn't matter to us. Just take a serious look at the industry, because in the last 3 years, I finally took the industry seriously. I didn't when I began. I was right where you are. Some of you may be. Take it seriously and take a serious look at it. All Susan and I are trying to do today is give you another option in your life, because losing income is detrimental to our families. And if we can start a part-time business with people that we love, with a product that is disrupting the health industry, that's what this product does. Cellular activation gets your body to heal itself. And your grandkids will want this. And that's what Warren Buffett recommends. You want a product that your grandkids will want. That gives you longevity, and it makes it where you can build generational wealth. And that's what you're able to do here. You also want a product that's consumable. So it's reordered every month. That's huge. And the power of it is you're partnering with a publicly traded company. The fact that this company is publicly traded allows you to look under the hood, meaning it allows you to look at the financials and see really what's going on in the business. And there's nothing being hidden, and it's not going to be gone over the weekend. They're not going to pack it up. So all the work that you've put in will go away over the weekend. All the work you put in will stay for generations and generations. This will be a legacy company. We're at the early stages of development of this company because we are at the front edge of nutrigenomics and getting your body to respond to the herbs that you put into it, where it can heal itself. Now, like I said, we just want to give you an option to consider. And if you like what you've heard and the timing is right for you, then great. Get with the person that shared this link with you. If the timing isn't right for you, that's okay too. But I'm going to ask you to do me two favors when you get off this call. One, I'm going to ask you next time that you take a pill or you take a supplement, I want you to ask yourself, is this product scientifically proven to heal my body? The product, not the ingredients. Is this product scientifically proven to heal my body? The second thing I want you to do is when you're driving into work, I want you to think to yourself, do I have an additional stream of income that I can build part-time, and it has a system available where I can make money while I sleep? We have a system. We have a system that you can plug into, and we will walk with you and be with you the entire time that you're in this business. So I just want to say thank you for being on the call. Thank you, Susan, for sharing all that great information. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And we're just so fortunate to be with the team and have the mentors that we have. And we just want to make that available to you as well, if the timing is right for you. So thank you, Susan. I'll hand it back over to you. You guys have a great day. Aloha. Take care.
Thanks, honey. Yeah, and if you're on this call and would like to talk to either one of us a bit more, just or if you're listening to the recording, just get with the person who shared this link or the recording with you. And we are happy to kind of talk. We could have conversations for days about this. And that's really how we like to approach this business, is sit down and have a conversation and talk to you about whatever your health goals are or whatever your life goals are in terms of adding an additional stream of income. So don't hesitate to reach out. We're open for each and every one of you. And we just thank you for your time. Aloha.